What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today in Modern Warfare 3 we got a small update that included quite a bit of weapon balancing considering the fact that this was just a small surprise update. And this included another nerf to the DTIR 30.6, as well as even more Modern Warfare 2 weapon adjustments. And just a little disclaimer, you guys might have heard this from me before, when it comes to Modern Warfare 2 weapons, my graphics collection and stat collection for this hasn't been nearly as comprehensive as my Modern Warfare 3 weapon stats, because that's always been the primary focus throughout this year's Call of Duty. So for many of these changes to the Modern Warfare 2 guns, I'm basically just going to explain what changed with them, rather than showing you a before and after graphic like I normally like to do anytime there is weapon balancing. So I hope you guys can understand that at this stage in the game's life cycle as well, it would take so many hours for me to put those brand new graphics together for those guns, and it's really just not worth it, considering the level of interest in Modern Warfare 3 in its final month of its realistic life cycle. In either case, let's start it off with that one Modern Warfare 3 weapon that changed. This is the DTIR 30.6. Like I said, this was another nerf to this. Just a quick recap from last week. We saw a slight recoil nerf to this gun, and this time what they did is they decreased the lower torso damage multiplier, so you no longer gain bonus damage to the lower torso. And what this means now is if you want to get a 3-shot kill in those first 2 damage ranges, 2 out of those 3 shots have to hit the upper torso or arms, whereas previously the lower torso would also count. So it's going to be a bit less forgiving when it comes to that. You'll have to be a bit more accurate with your shots. And then in that 3rd damage range, all 3 of your shots have to hit upper torso or arms if you want to maintain that 3-shot kill, whereas previously, again, the torso would count for that as well. And personally, I think this was the perfect change for this gun. This is actually what I was recommending from the beginning with this when it launched in a very powerful state, a little too powerful in my eyes. I think this is really appropriate. It's still a very accurate gun, super easy to use, and still fairly consistent. You just have to be aiming a little higher. You have to be a bit more precise with your shots, and I think that's well suited to this style of gun. I still consider this to be a very solid choice. It's just going to be slightly less consistent now than it was pre-patch. And that's actually the only Modern Warfare 3 gun that was adjusted with this update. Now let's get into the fairly long list of Modern Warfare 2 weapon adjustments, and we're going to start this off with the M13C. With this, they just very slightly increased our maximum damage from 31 up to 32. And this doesn't change the number of shots to kill to the body at all. However, what this does is it makes it so you only need to land 1 headshot mixed in with body shots in order to get a 4-shot kill, whereas previously you needed to land multiple headshots mixed in with body shots in order to make that happen. And if you do manage to land that headshot for a 4-shot kill, it's now just going to take you 240 milliseconds to kill, which is quite a solid and competitive time to kill in this game. Next up, moving into the shotgun category, nearly all of the Modern Warfare 2 shotguns saw some buffs, and with the KV broadside, they increased our maximum damage range from 2.9 meters up to 3.6 meters. That's that range where you're almost guaranteed a 1-shot kill. Even if you're not perfectly centered and you're hip firing, you'll still get a 1-shot kill within 3.6 meters now. And then our near medium damage range went from 3.3 meters up to 4.3 meters. And that's our 1-shot kill potential with the KV broadside. So some nice noticeable buffs there. Then with the Lockwood 300, our essentially guaranteed 1-shot kill potential went from 1.8 meters up to 3.3 meters. So you should see a ton of consistency within that range. You should basically never see a hit marker there. With the Expedite 12, that essentially guaranteed 1-shot kill potential went from 2.5 meters up to 3.6 meters. So again, much more consistency there. And our near medium damage range, which is where we're still getting a pretty easy 1-shot kill, this went from 4.1 meters up to 5.1 meters. Then for the Bryson 800, they actually increased the damage value for our near medium and medium damage ranges. And essentially in both of these ranges, it's going to take you 1 less pellet to kill per shot. So in the near medium damage range or our 2nd damage range, previously it would take 5 pellets to kill. Now it just takes 4. And then on top of that, they increased our maximum damage range and our 2nd damage range. So our essentially guaranteed 1-shot kill potential is now 4.1 meters, up from 3.3 meters. And then our easy 1-shot kill range, where we still only have to land 4 pellets, is 7.1 meters. So the Bryson 800 should be quite a bit more consistent now within that 7.1 meter range. And then even beyond that 7.1 meter range, there's slightly more consistency because they did increase that damage value, so it takes 5 pellets to kill instead of 6. And then finally, for the shotgun category, the Bryson 890 saw a buff to its near medium damage, so it takes 4 pellets instead of 5 there. And our essentially guaranteed 1-shot kill went from 3.1 meters up to 3.8 meters. So not quite as drastic of a buff as we've seen with some of the other shotguns, but overall, with all of these shotgun changes they've made here, you should notice far fewer situations where you're getting those hit markers in really close quarter situations. And I think that's great. These should feel a whole lot more consistent now, right up close and personal. However, in general, the potential of these guns didn't change a whole lot. So like their maximum one-hit kill potential, in most of these cases, it didn't really change. It's just those super close quarter situations where these shotguns are going to be far more effective. After that, we've got some very long-awaited changes to the crossbow. The first thing they did here is they increased our bolt velocity from 110 meters per second up to 200 meters per second, so that's quite a bit faster. And they also decreased the bolt gravity influence by 70%. So you're going to see a much flatter trajectory. Also, in a recent update, they removed the aim down sight spread with the crossbow, and that means it will actually follow your point of aim perfectly, aside from the fact that it drops over time. However, that was only applying to the base bolts. In this update, they also made that apply to all of the other bolts as well, so like the Bright Blaze, the Blast Cap, and the Caustic bolts. For all of those, they have also eliminated our aim down sight spread. And then finally with that, they did increase our neck damage multiplier from 1.2 up to 3. And what this means is that just matches our headshot damage, and it will always be a one-hit kill to the neck or head now, whereas previously it was only to the head. Now at the end of the day, the crossbow is still fairly weak in my opinion. You still have to hit either the upper torso, neck, or head within 50 meters just to get a one-hit kill with this. But these buffs should at least help make it a little bit easier to use and a little bit more consistent. Now, another gun that changed in the marksman rifle category is the SAB-50, and this recently got a buff. However, it appears they took that a little bit too far, so they toned that back just slightly. They moved around a bunch of damage values. Most of that, if you're just reading through it, kind of looks like nonsense. So I did throw a graphic together in this case for you guys to help you understand this. And essentially what they did here is they split up our maximum damage range where we're capable of getting a one-hit kill to the body. And now it's only going to be a one-hit kill to the torso and arms and up from 0 to 7.6 meters, whereas before this update, that extended out to 17.8 meters. However, we are still capable of getting a one-hit kill out to 17.8 meters. The difference here, though, is it has to hit the upper torso, neck, or head in order to make that happen. So it's still got some potential, but they definitely dialed this back a little bit, so it's not as crazy as it has been since the recent buff. And that's it for all of the primary weapon changes. However, they made a bunch of adjustments to the Modern Warfare 2 handguns. And let's start this off with the P890. With this, they increased our maximum damage value, so it's now going to be a 2-shot kill potential to the upper torso and upper arms, whereas previously it would be a 3-shot kill to those zones. So that's actually quite a bit more power if you're accurate and aiming high enough. Although to compensate for that, they also reduced our maximum damage range from 9.1 meters all the way down to just 4.6 meters. So this really only applies in super close quarter situations. And then in our minimum damage, so at longer ranges for this gun, it's now going to be a 3-shot kill anywhere to the torso and arms, whereas previously it was a 4-shot kill to those zones. So definitely a little more power coming out of the P890 at this stage. Next, let's have a look at the 50 GS. And this is another case where I did want to put a graphic together since there is a 1-shot kill potential to the body. And as we can see here, post-patch, they added a small maximum damage range where we can get a 1-hit kill to the upper torso, upper arm, neck, and head, and that extends out to 8.6 meters, whereas our 1-shot headshot potential is the same as it was pre-patch. That will extend out to 17.3 meters, and then anything beyond that is just the same as it used to be. So that's actually quite a significant buff to this gun in close quarter situations. Next up, with the X12, they increased our maximum damage value to the point where it's now going to be a 3-shot kill anywhere to the torso and arms, whereas previously it would only apply to the upper torso, so far more consistency in that maximum damage range for a 3-shot kill. And then for our near medium as well as our minimum damage range, they increase these damage values to the point where it's going to take you 1 less shot to kill. And therefore at longer ranges, as long as you're hitting the upper torso, it's going to take you at most 4 shots to kill, whereas previously it was a 5-shot kill in those ranges. So just a nice general buff all around to the X12. They also did nerf akimbo with the X12 a little bit to compensate for this. So our damage range nerf went from minus 20% all the way up to minus 40%. After that, we saw an adjustment with the Basilisk. The first thing they did is they increased our head damage multiplier all the way up to 2.5. And what this means is we're now capable of getting a 1-hit kill to the head out to 1 extra damage range here. So that'll extend out to 33 meters, which is also a slight reduction from the previous damage range there. And then they also eliminated that 4th damage range, which was pretty unnecessary and a little overcomplicated. So yeah, we'll get a slightly better 1-hit kill potential now with the Basilisk. Then for the FTAC Siege, we just saw damage buffs across the board, and essentially it's just going to take you 1 less shot to kill at all ranges, and we now have a pretty solid time to kill potential up close at 250 milliseconds with that 6-shot kill. So this should be quite a bit more viable than it was. It's not going to take you 10 shots to kill at a distance now, although it will still take you 9, which is a lot. But in general, the FTAC Siege should be noticeably better. After that, with the GS Magna, in the minimum damage range, so at longer ranges, They increased our minimum damage from 36 up to 40. And then on top of that, they increased our lower torso damage multiplier, so it now matches our upper torso and arm multiplier. And they also increased our leg and foot damage multiplier. And essentially, this is just going to make the GS Magna far more consistent when it comes to getting a 3 to 4 shot kill, whereas previously, more often than not, it would be a 4 to 5 shot kill, which was just not competitive at all in this game. So that should be a noticeably better gun as well. And then finally, for our weapon adjustments, the X13 Auto saw a bit of a reduction to recoil across the board. We can see pre-patch versus post-patch here. It's definitely a bit more accurate and easy to control. And then on top of that, they just made it take 1 less shot to kill to the upper torso at all ranges. So it used to be a 5-shot up close, now it's a 4-shot, and at really long ranges, in the minimum damage range, it got an additional buff. Previously, it would take you up to 10 shots to kill to the upper torso. Now it's only going to take you 7. So that's actually a huge buff for long range, although I still wouldn't call it a really good gun to use at longer ranges. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for all of the weapon balancing that took place with this update. Lots of little changes to the Modern Warfare 2 guns that should make them at least a lot more viable to use, especially when it comes to the pistols and the shotguns. One other little change, or more like bug fix that they mentioned in this, is your Guardian SC turret can now be deployed if you're standing in water. Now, you have to be standing in that water. You can't go swimming and then place the Guardian SC. But if you're just standing in like ankle-deep water, previously it would prevent you from placing that, whereas now it shouldn't. And there we go. That's going to wrap it up. Definitely some solid changes here. It seems like they're really trying to just get things in a good state before they essentially pull the plug on post-launch support so that a very wide variety of guns, including Modern Warfare 2 guns, can be used effectively. And I think that's great. I understand why they wanted the main focus to be on the Modern Warfare 3 guns throughout the life cycle of Modern Warfare 3, but now it's time to bring everything up to being really viable. And I'm just curious to hear what you guys think about that strategy in those comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.